Hey guys, this is Taunt. Today we have some new Spider-Man reveals, some new stuff that's happening and everything like that, some changes to Universes Beyond, as well as some Eternal exclusive cards. So these are not going to be standard legal, they are going to be essentially legal in every other format, the same way Commander cards work, except this is kind of the way to introduce Commander cards without actually making full decks, which I'm not a huge fan of. As we said previously, the fact that there's not going to be commander decks for Spider-Man is a little bit disappointing and stuff, but I guess they wanted to still have some of those cards that are kind of pushed up to that commander level. But yeah, there's a few other nice tidbits in here to learn too. So getting into it, first of all, before we, go too far, they are basically changing the way Universes Beyond cards working. They're getting rid of the little triangle down here and turning it just back into the normal kind of standard oval security stamp, and then also getting rid of the Universes Beyond border, essentially the one that's a little bit like darker and looks different to the normal one. So this is a comparison between this Gandalf and this Ovika here. We've got this. So this is essentially how they're going to introduce some commander cards. A scene box. I did say this, I think, actually, in my previous video where I talked about it. They'll probably do this. So it's a scene box that's got 6 new cards in it that are all essentially standard legal. Sorry, not standard legal. Eternal legal. They are not legal in standard. They're just, you'll get them from here, you'll be able to use them in your decks and commander decks and stuff, but they are not going to be able to be usable in standard, which means that usually they can kind of push the limits a bit harder on them because they don't need to kind of stay in that kind of warp that standard the standard meta. They can go harder than that essentially. Yeah, this is a box of 6 different ones. MSRP is $41.99 there, and this is them that we'll go into them a little bit later more. The back of the box does mention MJ, which is really nice. I love the fact that they're actually going to bring that he's still date night with MJ and stuff, because the comics have been shying away from MJ for how long ago was One More Day? Actually, no, because they almost got them back together previously before not the latest Amazing Spider-Man, I think just before that. But yeah, it's nice to kind of see that they've got MJ. The booster art, $6.99. We've got this as well, which is the full booster, play booster. We've got the collector booster. Interesting thing with the collector boosters is it does not mention serialized cards. Now, there could potentially be a change to that. They just aren't putting serialized cards on the front of it or anything. But it is incredibly strange that they didn't have it on there. I mean, maybe serialized cards are just a given now. Who knows? But no serialized cards is very, very interesting. We've got welcome decks. So these are essentially, if you go down to your LGS, you can ask for one of them. And you'll get one for free, and it will have whatever characters on the front. So say this one here will have Spider-Man on the front, and then you'll have a random one of a different half deck. So, you might get Spider-Man and Venom, and it'll be 2 30-card decks, essentially. Usually they're one for each color. So, like Spider-Man might be blue, for example. Venom is black. Miles is white or something like that. I don't know. There could be any, they're monocolored, so I don't know how they're going to line them up with the different characters, but yeah, most likely Venom's the black one, and then we'll see from there. We've also got the pre-release art. There's nothing to kind of learn from that. And then the bundle, MSRP for $70 there, has 30 basic lands, 1 alt art promo card. So I like that it's alt art rather than just a foil or borderless one, which I think we got with, I can't remember which one it was. There was a bundle that came out or is coming out that just had I think it might have been Tarkia, just had a borderless version of a card rather than an alternate art. All right. If you do like this video so far, make sure you subscribe and stuff. We'll get into the cards now. But also make sure that you head on over to Qualcomm Mousepads, support the channel, get some amazing power pads plus free shipping. And if you use the code TAUNA, you can get 10% off. I've got them and use them every single time. I've got a Gambit one. It's absolutely amazing. So into Spider-Man. So Spider-Man here. I'm going to slowly kind of go through what we're learning here too. So Spider-Man's a spider hero, a spider human hero. So they're keeping that hero tag that they had previously with the Marvel secret layers there. Whenever it attacks, tap target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Then you can remove up to 3 stun counters from among all permanents. Draw cards equal to the number of stun counters removed this way. So you can draw off your own stuff too. Not too much to learn off of this one. The set code here is SPE. Also, this is 25. That's interesting there, is that this is number 25 for SPE. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So SPE is essentially Spider-Man's Eternal set. But the fact that like this is like the first box that they're showing of it and it's already up to 25 is interesting. We've got Venom here. So he has exile target creature card from a graveyard. Then you put X 1/1s onto target symbiote, where X is the exile card's toughness. So obviously you're designed to have a symbiote team here. Villain is a tag here as well. And obviously there's going to be more kind of symbiote support throughout the actual main set. Obviously not here, but we can expect to get more symbiotes, you know, Carnage, Toxin, Agony, Lasher, etc. I could go on for an hour on different symbiotes. Number 22 here for SPE. So that's the lowest one so far. This is an activated ability you can activate at instant speed as well. And it's also from a graveyard. So this could be, you know, mill everyone with it, which is, oh, I need this for my Mothman deck. Yeah. All right, we've got Doc Ock, Evil Inventor. So he's a human scientist villain. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes an 8/8 robot villain artifact creature in addition to its other types. This is actually really cool for vehicles, right? Like you could animate vehicles with this really well. I'm going to have to make like precons like right now on these because this one would just be amazing with vehicles that have just come out with Duskmorn, not Duskmorn, Aether Drift. Number 24 here. He's an 8/8, which is obviously very, very thematic there. I'm actually surprised that these are not pushed harder, right? Like they could be so much stronger, but they're not, which is nice, I guess. We don't have like, you know, I'm half surprised he doesn't have Ward 8 or something ridiculous, or Ward 4 maybe. We've got Grasping Tentacles, so this is to go alongside Doc Ock there. So that is pay 3, 1 black, 1 blue, 1 colorless. Target opponent mills 8 cards. You may put an artifact card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It doesn't have to be one of the cards that you just milled either. So if they've got an artifact in there already, you can just mill them and then steal it. My friend is actually going to hate this card because he plays an Imatech deck that is around recurring things from his graveyard and, you know, wanting specific things in his graveyard. So if I go steal his, like, you know, key combo piece, that's hilarious. It is a sorcery speed, though, unfortunately, so I can't do it mid-combo for him. We've got Green Goblin Nemesis, so Rakdos. So he is a goblin human, which makes sense. You know, he's technically like got the goblin formula and stuff. Flying, whenever you discard a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on target goblin you control. Whenever you discard a land, create a tapped treasure token. So nice for, you know, discard decks. We just got discard support with Aether Drift as well. Most likely, you know, these are all going to play into the main set as well, most likely. Like, you know, for example, this Green Goblin here is specifically around buffing up goblins and stuff, around discard. So most likely Rakdos in the main set is discard and, you know, discard and goblins and stuff. And then we've got Pumpkin Bombs. So this is tap, discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards, then put a fuse counter on this artifact. It deals damage equal to the number of fuse counters on it to target opponent. They gain control of this artifact. That is actually a really cool ability. So discard 2, draw 3, deal damage to someone, and then they gain control of it, and then they can throw it at someone. So it's like passing it around kind of chaotic style, which is really cool. So Goblin is 23 and Pumpkin Bombs is 26 in regards to it. So yeah, there is previous cards before this. We'll see as to where they come from as well. So then we've got this, which is Marvel Booster Insert. So one thing that is interesting is that it doesn't mention what sets the main stuff from up here is from. Like if the SPE cards are going to be within these collector boosters or not. I'm just double checking if I can find it. Like it says SPE are Commander, Legacy, and Vintage format. And then it says the play boosters contain SPM and MAR cards, but it doesn't say where the SPE cards come from besides this one scene box. Keep in mind that it doesn't mention the fact that this is going to be the only one of the scene boxes. Um, like there could be other scene boxes as well, which I guess kind of makes sense. Some other little tidbits here. They said, Spider-Man's primarily Bant, which we knew, but this one obviously isn't, so likely one in the main set is. There's going to be some hero creature type building hooks rather than Spider or something along those lines. Assumably we'll get hero, we'll get some symbiote synergy as well. Maybe some goblin synergy. There's a few different goblins that have shown up and stuff. They're not limited to one run or series, and it is going to be primarily based off the comics, which is really, really great. I love that they're basing it off the comics rather than going for that whole MCU synergy stuff. And they also talked a little bit about why they were a little bit about designing cards for this rather than designing it for a pre-con. They can go a little bit more wild with this, and they don't need to be as tied into designing them all together and stuff. And they can do different sets, different themes and stuff like that to the actual set and everything. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. Have a great day and goodbye.